بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلي وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى أهله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. The Ideological Attack by Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Baz, translation and notation by Abu Aliya Sakhil ibn Anwar Sharif. Who is subject to this attack? Question: Are the Arabs generally subject to this type of warfare? In particular, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia? Answer: yes. The Muslims in general, including the Arabs, the Kingdom, and other than them, are all subject to a great ideological attack from the various nations of unbelief, kufr, from both the East and the West. The severest and most serious of these ideological attacks are the attack of the Christian Crusaders, the Zionist attack, the Communist and the Atheistic attack. The attack of the Christian Crusaders is today at its most intense, since Salahuddin al-Ayyubi achieved victory over the Christians crusading in the Muslim land with their strength and weapons. The Christians realized that even though they had achieved some victories, nevertheless these victories were temporary ones that did not last. That is why they started thinking about the most destructive alternatives. After numerous case studies and assemblies, they arrived at something that was far more dangerous and destructive than military warfare, which was that the Christian nations, both individually and collectively, should launch an ideological attack on the Muslims who were just beginning to grow and develop. This is because conquering the hearts and thoughts of a people is far more permanent than conquering their lands. The Muslim whose mind has not been corrupted cannot bear to see the unbelievers wielding authority and ordering and prohibiting in his own country. Therefore, such a Muslim strives his utmost to expel and distance them, even if he has to destroy his own life or his most cherished position for this cause. And this is what happened after the major conquest of the Crusaders. As for the Muslim who is exposed to this filthy attack, he becomes ill in thought and desensitized of this disease. He may not even see any danger with the presence of Christians in the lands of the Muslims. Indeed, he may even think that their presence is a source of goodness, which aids and advances civilization. So the Christians have sufficed themselves with this ideological attack as opposed to the military one, because it is more effective and more permanent. What need do they have of developing troops or spending huge sums of money? Where they exist amongst the children of the Muslims, those who can actually fulfill their wishes, intentionally or unintentionally, with a praise or without one. This is why they do not resort to openly fighting the Muslim with weapons and arms, except in situations where speed is sought, such as what happened in Uganda and Pakistan, or when there is a need to stabilize the advancement or establish centers or to establish bases which engage in destructive ideological warfare, such as what happened in Egypt, Syria, Iraq, and other countries before their expansion. The Zionist story is just the same. The Jews strive their utmost to The Zionists was just the same. The Jews strive their utmost to corrupt the beliefs, morals, and manners for the Muslims, and manners of the Muslims. The Jews scheme and crave after possessing the Muslim lands as well as the lands of others. They have fulfilled some of their plans and continue striving hard to implement the rest of them, even though they do not engage in the Muslims in warfare involving strength and arms, and have occupied some of their lands. They also fight them by spreading destructive thoughts, beliefs, and ideologies such as Freemasonry, Qadianism, Baha'ism, Tijanism, and others, seeking the support of the Christians and others in order to fulfill their objectives. As for the community Atheist war, as for the communist Atheist war, then presently it is spreading like wildfire across the Muslim lands. This happens as a consequence of there being a void weakness of faith in many people, widespread ignorance and the lack of a correct and sound Islamic cultivation. The communist parties from the Russia and China as well as others have managed to ensnare every spiteful, malicious person, driven by those weak in faith or having no faith at all. They selected these types of people as being their puppets and plants in that country, spreading through them their vile ideology of atheism and communism. They lured these puppets with promises of high position of power and status. Through them, they tore apart the Muslim Ummah since they were made to act as the troops of Satan. They were aided in this by the Christians and the Jews, who sometimes assisted in their preparation, while at other times they offered other forms of aid and support. Thus, even though they do not have differences between them, yet they become a single hand against the Muslims. They view the Muslim as their worst enemy. That is why we see them cooperating with each other as allies against the Muslims. So it is Allah's aid that is sought. He suffices us, and is the best of guardians.